The countryside of England. What mysteries lie in the gathered hills fading softly into summer's haze? Who knows what ancient brow was soothed by these cool waters? Or what pagan beliefs provided the imperative to throw up massive earth and stone works? The landscape also reflects the works of more modern peoples. Beauty presides in breathtaking abundance. Rolling green hills, wild romantic vistas, manors and castles. Geography and history have conspired to make the English countryside mysterious, yet inviting, breathtaking, yet calming, and throughout, the true heart and soul of this land. This is the English countryside. The British Isles are the northwest extremity of Europe, just off the coast of France. American Airlines makes it easy to get to England, with convenient connections from over 200 cities to our 6 US gateways, and non-stops to London Heathrow, London Gatwick, and other cities in Great Britain. At the close of the Ice Ages, a land bridge connected the island with the continent and bore the first inhabitants into this land. Later immigrants were French and Belgic farmers, the Bronze Age beaker folk from the Rhineland, and the warlike Celts, who brought the technology of the Iron Age. Julius Caesar invaded England in 55 BC. The Angles and Jutes, Germanic tribes related to the Britons, brought Christianity, which quickly spread throughout England and Wales. In the 8th century, Alfred the Great, King of Wessex, succeeded in expelling the Danes from London and won recognition as the true King of England. 8 houses of English sovereigns in succession extend to the present day. For centuries, the surrounding sea has protected this land and fostered unique English institutions. In the same way, streams, hills, and other natural features have given development a distinct local rural face. Not surprisingly, there are many regions, many locales, many corners within the English countryside, each with its own charm. A natural start to exploring the countryside is in the south of England. Canterbury was a junction of Roman highways that became a crossroads in English history. Kings of Kent chose it as their capital, and from it promulgated early Anglo-Saxon codes of law. In the 6th century, St. Augustine visited the king's court in Canterbury and established a bishopric. St. Augustine's Abbey now lies in ruins. The Normans invaded England in 1066. In 1070, work began on England's first Norman cathedral, Christ Church Cathedral, the destination of pilgrims in Geoffrey Chaucer's celebrated Middle English work, Canterbury Tales. Portsmouth is on the coast about 100 miles southwest of Canterbury. Portsmouth has been an important harbour for centuries and is the principal port for the Royal Navy. Museum ships, such as the HMS Warrior and HMS Victory, let visitors explore English maritime history. The HMS Victory was Admiral Nelson's flagship at the famous Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. About 20 miles inland from Portsmouth is Winchester. Winchester was once England's capital under Alfred the Great and his predecessor Egbert. And although William the Conqueror chose London as his capital, he chose to repeat his coronation in Winchester. Winchester Cathedral, another Norman monument, was begun in 1079, shortly after Canterbury Cathedral. Salisbury lies a quick 18 miles west of Winchester. Salisbury Cathedral was built about 150 years after Winchester Cathedral, replacing an older one at Old Sarum. An interesting curiosity is the Salisbury Cathedral clock. Built around 1386, this is the oldest working clock in England. The cathedral is actually a part of a larger church complex, or close. Immediately adjoining the church are cloisters and a chapter house. The cloisters are the largest in England. One of 4 surviving originals of the Magna Carta is preserved and on view within the chapter house. The countryside of southern England has a remarkable number of prehistoric remains dotting its agricultural landscape. On the eastern edge of the sweeping Salisbury Plains sits Stonehenge, a 5,000-year-old monument of mystery. While scientists have located the sources of the stones used in its assembly, sources hundreds of miles distant, many questions about Stonehenge remain unanswered. Northward, 20 miles from Stonehenge, lies Avebury Monument. Its first stones predate Stonehenge by at least 200 years. Like Stonehenge, Avebury features groundworks in the form of ditches and embankments, as well as stone rings. About 3200 BC, a chambered tomb, now known as the West Kennet Long Barrow, was constructed for individuals of unknown but obviously high rank. The adventurous visitor is free to explore inside these underground tombs. Situated in the countryside, 26 miles southwest of Avebury, is a more modern monument, Longleat House. The exemplar of the Elizabethan mansion, Longleat was built in 1580. Elaborate, heavy furnishings were typical of this period. By traveling 18 miles southwest through the countryside, visitors will come to Glastonbury. At the base of Glastonbury Tor, a 500-foot tall, grass-covered hill. Myth surrounds this region. It has been given the mantle of Avalon, the legendary paradise into which King Arthur was received. At the top of the Tor stands the remains of St. Michael's Church, abandoned in 1271 after a landslide destroyed it. At the base of the Tor lies the Chalice Well, so named because it is said that Joseph of Arimathea brought the chalice from the Last Supper to Glastonbury in 37 AD. According to tradition, the chalice, which became known as the Holy Grail, is buried somewhere near this well. Northeast, some 25 miles, is Bath. Bath's name describes its principal attraction from Roman times into the 18th century. When Romans found warm mineral waters flowing here, they built a complex of swimming pools, saunas, and baths. This excavated complex includes an altar to the goddess Minerva, complete with a bronze head, and offerings to the gods left more than 2,000 years ago. In the 18th century, Bath became the fashionable spa for English nobility and gentry. Development during that period created one of the most complete Georgian-style cities in England. At the Pump Room, modern visitors can taste the mineral waters of the King's Spring, which are supposedly tonic, but decidedly foul-tasting. Before it flows through London and out to sea, the Thames enjoys a gentle pastoral passage through the countryside west of the city. This is a region of mansions, inns, colleges, and resorts. Particularly in Edwardian times, those with sufficient money built country residences in this region, already rich with older mansions and castles. Traveling upstream from London makes for a journey into nobility, wealth, and ease. Windsor, just 21 miles west of London, is the principal country residence of the royal family. Windsor Castle is a fortification begun by William the Conqueror and enlarged or enhanced by most monarchs since. Henry I was the first to use it as a royal residence. The Queen's state apartments are open to the public when she is not in residence. Also within the 13 walled acres is St. George's Chapel, where the monarch inducts new members into the Order of the Garter. Elm, upstream but north of the Thames, has been called one of England's prettiest and most unspoiled villages. Three important attractions are the church, almshouse, and school, all of which were built more than 500 years ago. The almshouse is where the poor were housed, using the donations or alms that parishioners gave to the church. Many visitors speculate about the lives of those buried in this little plot. Ten miles farther upstream, Oxford enjoys the outdoor pleasures of other towns along the Thames and mixes in the revered academic tradition of Oxford University. The university is actually a collection of smaller colleges with distinguished names such as Balliol and Christ Church. The smallest and most ancient college is St. Edmund in St. Edmund Hall. This tiny quadrangle dates to 1220 and makes Oxford the second oldest university in Europe after the Sorbonne in Paris. Remarkable personages have trod these halls. Eminent alumni include poet John Donne, Sir Walter Raleigh, T.E. Lawrence of Arabia, and conductor Leopold Stokowski, to name only a few. Some of the most interesting conversations in history have echoed off these walls. The riverside way of life has been gently woven into the fabric of academic traditions in Oxford. Visitors can rent punts like these to enjoy poling the Thames. 6 miles from Oxford, just outside of the village of Woodstock, is Blenheim Palace, the birthplace of soldier, statesman, Prime Minister Winston S. Churchill, whose bulldog-like scowl has emblemized English resolve to a generation of Americans. Blenheim Palace itself is a remarkable rendering of English Baroque architecture. Blenheim Palace was built for John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough, to honor his victory at the Battle of Blenheim in 1704. Every detail contributes to a sense of grandeur, evoking the occasion and the age. To the west of Oxford, at the extremity of the Thames River Valley, rise the Cotswold Hills. The Cotswolds are part of the heart of England, which extends northward. Cirencester, 30 miles west of Oxford, is the natural gateway to this area. After London, it was the most important Roman town in England. Since that time, it has been the hub of the Cotswolds. The Corinium Museum depicts Cirencester's history, using artifacts found about the city. The collection of Roman artifacts is particularly complete and includes striking mosaics. The most direct route north, deeper into the Cotswolds, is along an old Roman road, Fosse Way. 15 miles of travel brings a visitor well into the Cotswolds and to a town called Bourton-on-the-Water. Bourton-on-the-Water is a classic Cotswolds village, and much has been done to preserve that quality. The scenery and many small establishments make this an ideal place to stop for tea and scones. Bourton-on-the-Water's distinctive appearance, like that of many Cotswolds towns, is due in part to the use of the amber stone so abundant here. 5 miles away lies Stow-on-the-Wold, the largest and at 800 feet elevation, the highest town within the Cotswolds. The Royalist Hotel in Stow-on-the-Wold was built in 947 AD and claims the distinction of being the oldest inn in England. Beams from ships form part of its hand-wrought framework. A witch's mark engraved on the fireplace was said to prevent any unfriendly spirits from entering through the chimney, although some guests claim to have seen a friendly apparition during the night. A little investigation can turn up many quality antique shops nestled within the cottages. Hospitality is a trademark of the English. Many bed and breakfasts can be found in city and country. Some are remodeled mills or farmhouses. The public house, or pub for short, is an institution that no visitor should overlook. Many are community hubs where friends gather for conversation and games with neighbors over a pint of stout. Pub food might be considered the culinary ancestor to fast foods. Fish and chips, shepherd's pie, and ploughman's sandwiches all provide hearty refreshment. Many pubs date back several centuries. Their names, like these, often refer to historic events. Stratford-upon-Avon, the birthplace of William Shakespeare, lies within the heart of England, about 80 miles northwest of London. For more than 300 years, this Tudor beam house has been the destination of pilgrimages by students of history and theatre, and those simply moved by the words of the immortal bard. Stratford has expended great effort to preserve and restore Shakespeare's haunts. Mary Arden's house is the childhood home of Shakespeare's mother. The building now serves as a falconry where more than a dozen varieties of birds of prey are trained. Abundant timber from the Forest of Arden, which in Shakespeare's time covered much of Warwickshire, promoted the half-timber construction which characterizes homes in this region. The childhood home of Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare's wife, represents a typical home of a yeoman, an individual who cultivated his own land. An Elizabethan-style knot garden and the Guild Chapel are both near the site of Shakespeare's retirement home. Shakespeare's remains lie in honor inside Holy Trinity Church. The finest medieval castle in England is less than 10 miles northeast of Stratford. Its imposing position on the hills above the Avon suggests the importance of military power in those times. Warwick Castle is now the repository for the finest collection of medieval armor and weapons in Europe. Approximately 75 miles east of Warwick is Cambridge. Cambridge dates from Roman times. In the early Middle Ages, it was a strong point in defenses against the Danes. Cambridge's enduring renown comes from its university. The founding of Peterhouse College in 1284 brought the first students to Cambridge. Though different in character from Oxford, Cambridge University is also a collection of smaller colleges. Cambridge has also been the haunt of the famous, including Francis Bacon, Isaac Newton, Bertrand Russell, and Stephen Hawking. Moving northwest from Cambridge brings a visitor to the diverse landscapes of central England. The Midlands of Nottinghamshire and surrounding counties are varied and generally wooded. In medieval times, they were deep forests, a natural retreat for the mythic hero Robin Hood. Some of Sherwood Forest still exists for those who would like to bring their youthful fantasies to life. Landmarks such as Major Oak, Robin Hood's tree, and the site of the church where Robin Hood wed Maid Marian celebrate the legend. Nottingham, home of Robin Hood's nemesis, the Sheriff of Nottingham. This castle, though, is of much too recent origin for him to have occupied it. It was built in 1674 to replace a much more ancient and mysterious castle destroyed in a civil war. The castle is now a museum. In the north of England lies the county of Cumbria, adjoining the western coast. Within it is a region of lake, wood and crag, distinctive alpine geography, called the Lake District. In the early 19th century, Romantic poets such as Coleridge and Wordsworth found their inspiration in the region's beauty and necessary solitude in its wildness. Today, the Lake District is a popular resort region, and a large part of the area is a national park. People come to hike along the winding footpaths and to boat and swim at the many lakes. At Era Force, in the north of the district, is a remarkable series of waterfalls. In towns such as Windermere, bed and breakfasts and many commercial establishments provide for a traveler's needs. Visitors can walk through the workshops of craftsmen, such as those at Pennine Tweeds, a Victorian woolen mill. Crystal, china, and other fine crafts typify the kinds of shopping available. Directly across the island from the Lake District, towards the east coast, lie the Yorkshire Moors. This is rugged, moody land. Classics such as The Hound of the Baskervilles draw a dark, mysterious image of the moors. In fact, brightness fills the landscape. Ralph Cross, the highest point in North York Moors National Park, offers a spectacular view of the countryside. On the coast and flanked by the northern moors is the fishing port of Whitby, an excellent example of a northern coastal town. At one time, Whitby was a whaling port and has a great maritime tradition. Out of that tradition sprang the famous Captain James Cook. As a youth, Cook was apprenticed to John Walker, a Quaker engaged in the coal trade. Drawing on his training under Walker, Cook was able to rise through the Navy and become a great explorer. He was the first European to land in Australia. South and inland, 40 miles from Whitby, is the city of York. York was the military capital during the Roman occupation and has been an important city since. York is a very compact city, partly because it grew within defensive walls. Great gateways, such as Bootham Bar, permitted traffic in and out of the city. Within the city is the Cathedral of St. Peter, better known as York Minster, the largest Gothic church in England. This elaborate window commemorates the marriage of Henry VII to Elizabeth of York, a marriage which ended the War of the Roses. The Shambles is a preserved medieval street that conveys a sense of its period. Stonegate Street preserves Tudor and 18th century storefronts and homes. Many of these are now fine shops. Like most cities in the English countryside, York diligently preserves its past. Indeed, a respect for history and love of the land are evident in every corner of the country and make it so delightful to explore. Perhaps Samuel Coleridge best described the English countryside and the love that attends it.
O native Britain, O my mother isle, to me, who from thy lakes and mountain hills, thy clouds, thy quiet dales, thy rocks and seas, have drunk in all my intellectual life, all sweet sensations, all ennobling thoughts. There lives nor form nor feeling in my soul unborrowed from my country. O divine and beauteous island, my sole and most magnificent temple, in the which I walk with awe and sing my stately songs.
Historic London. The lush English countryside. It's closer than you think. On American Airlines. With daily non-stop service from gateway cities all across the U.S. And affordable flyaway vacations packages that show off the very best of England and Great Britain. Talk to your travel agent about coming with us to London.
Traveling to Europe or the East Coast? Why not enjoy 2 vacations in one with a New York, New Jersey stopover? With more than 100 carriers providing non-stop service to almost 100 international destinations, stopping over is fun and easy. The New York, New Jersey region offers the excitement of Manhattan, Atlantic City, and Broadway, year-round sporting events, and scenic getaways far from the city lights. With 1, 2, and 3-night stopover packages, you'll vacation in style. One-night packages are available in New York City for about $70 per person, and all packages include a bonus book with up to $250 in savings at attractions and restaurants. Enjoy winter and summer excursions to New York State, including the magnificent Niagara Falls and the endless shoreline of New Jersey. Everything from the Victorian cottages of Cape May to the capital city of Trenton. So the next time you're passing through our neighborhood, whether for business or pleasure, stop over in New York and New Jersey. For more information, please contact your travel agent or call 1-800-STAY-OVER for a free stopover brochure. The New York, New Jersey Stopover. 2 vacations in one.
When planning a vacation, choosing your travel agent can be as important as choosing your destination. Today's successful travel agent is knowledgeable with accurate, up-to-the-minute information on hotels and resorts, airlines, cruise lines, car rentals, tour operators, and destinations. Today's travel agent relies on Tour and Travel News, the #1 source of information for North American retail travel agents. Tour and Travel News, Travel View International, and your travel agent, your partners in travel. Copies of this and other Travel View International videos are available for purchase. Europe and Africa, Asia and Australia, the United States and Canada, the Caribbean, Mexico and Latin America. To order, ask your travel agent or send a check or money order for $12.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Travel View International, P.O. Box 420506, Houston, Texas 77242-9918. For credit card orders, call toll-free 1-800-862-1305. The Travel Preview System, the video publication for travelers.